So let me hold up a picture for you to see or re-see. So you've got on your site a lovely little kind of podcast style docu-series of these 6 conversations that you talk about in community and forming the structure of belonging. And I'm going to link to those videos because I think they're lovely. But one of the things I noticed as I was prepping for our chat is that they were posted 4 years ago. And 4 years is how long it takes most people to get a college degree. And so you've got, knowing you, you've probably picked up a few college degrees in the last 4 years. And so I'm wondering if I can invite you into a bit of an experience to boil down a bit of the essence of each of these 6 conversations. And I'm choosing that word essence really intentionally because I don't want the like the short, too long, like give me, explain the invitation conversation in 30 seconds. But I am interested in what is the essence of the invitation conversation. And I'm wondering if in a somewhat rapid fire, I take out my pencil and we make some notes, if you're willing to just share a little bit about what, for you, the essence of the invitation conversation is, and bounce. And you tell me when you're ready to bounce. We'll go at your pace.
I'm ready.
All right.
These conversations, as they're named, are as close to I can't improve on them anymore. And so they're a result of years and years of looking for those conversations that people don't know how to defend against. And the essence of invitation is to say, you decide whether to be here or not. And if you come, something will be required of you. Don't come as now, I don't say this, but don't come as a consumer. You might. Don't come to be entertained. None of the speakers are dynamic, motivating, or charismatic. Now, I hope they are. Good luck with me. Not going to happen. And so, but the invitation says, we want you to choose to be here. And in that, I make a commitment. Here's our intention. All right. And here's what will be, you'll be in small groups and you'll help create the experience for all of us. Please come.
Which is really different than being at work and just getting a calendar invite and being expected to show up with no context or intention and definitely not an invitation. It's just you work here, we're paying you, I expect you to be here. It's like, that's so different.
I expect you to be here or to sell the hell out of it. Say, look at this amazing list of speakers you've ever heard. Okay, as if the speakers were the point. Now, you may have to do that to draw a crowd. But my friend Peter Kestenbaum said once, all marketing is pornography. And that you may have to promise something, but you also let people know that something will be required of them if they come. And write the calendar invite. There's no easy way to do it. So let's go to number 2.
Possibility.
Okay, the possibility.
Can't skip past possibility.
Crossroads. So we're not here to problem solve. We're asking you, what's the crossroads you're at this stage of your life? Now, see, any of these conversations, now, are there 6, are there 8, are there 12? I don't care. You spend your life collecting conversations that work in the world that you inhabit. But possibility means I came here to create a future. I didn't come here to reform the present. Most people come to problem solve. Most reform efforts help things be a little better, but we're trying to shift the context within which we create an organization or a life or a neighborhood. And it begins with, what's the crossroads? What's the choice you're facing now? As soon as I tell you my crossroads, I've owned myself as a person with choice. And I don't care what age you are, acknowledge the fact that no matter how much experience we have, we still don't know. Not knowing is the gift. We reclaim our humanity with each other by not knowing. Certainty is the opposite of love. Certainty is the opposite of trust. And that's a big shift, especially in today's world.
You said something when you sat down in Cincinnati. You got to go in a few minutes. Got it. You said something in Cincinnati that was when somebody's talking about a problem to you. And you said, have you given this speech before? It's like, okay, great. How long does it take? It's like, problems are certain. Possibility lands people in that uncertainty. All right. Flipping on lightning round. Ownership.
Ownership is I'm going to act as if for everything I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining about is true. There is suffering in the world. There's violence in the world. But talking about it leaves me feeling helpless. Protesting, waiting for the mayor, the president. I mean, the conversations we have nationally are just silly. He's not going to get me a job. He's not going to buy me a house. Ownership says no matter what I care about, what's my contribution to that existing in the world? And it turns me into an actor, to a citizen instead of a consumer. And if I can't answer that question, that's my contribution. I don't know. I got nothing to do with look what management's doing. They bought this place, they built this, they started this thing, they laid off, they went into AI's replacing. I know they are. Okay. And so what's your contribution to that happening? Hey, I'm innocent, man. If you had a contribution, what would it be? Oh, don't fool with me. I'm not going to be seduced by your cleverness. Then that's their contribution. They think they're audience. They think they're a witness to their lives.
I feel like people often shy away from this one, but it feels quite important.
It's probably the most important. And, it's the basis of commitment. It's the basis of trust. If I care about trust, if I care about commitment, if I care about us having a future together, I have to be able to say no. And then there's levels of depth. The simplest, what doubts do you have about what we're doing? Another one is, what's the no you're postponing? Oops. What's the yes you no longer mean? Oh no. What's the forgiveness you're unwilling to give? Leave me alone, for Christ's sake. What's the resentment you have that nobody knows about? Are you kidding? What is this, therapy next? I have to go, when's the break? And it doesn't matter if we answer them. It's just that these are the landscapes, the dimensions, the scaffolding of commitment. Because if I can't say no, my yes doesn't mean anything. And commitment then is a promise that I make for its own sake. It's a covenant. It's a yes I'm giving. It has nothing to do with your response. It's an alternative to barter. If you'll do this, I'll do that. That's no commitment, that's a deal. And so what you're doing is you're asking people, what's the commitment? What's the promise you're willing to make with no expectation? And again, it's in the asking of the question that you construct a culture.
And it seems like if you skip over this, it's like a steamroller that ignores people's doubts and then asks them to commit to something.
Means nothing.
Seems unfair. Yeah.
Means nothing.
This conversation has been a gift, Peter. What's the sixth conversation about?
Exactly. It's taking the conversation of deficiency, of self-improvement. Self-improvement can be considered an act of violence because it says I'm not enough. And it ignores the fact that being human, I'm wounded at the moment of birth. Okay. And you're this, you're that, that's because I'm human. And the gift doesn't argue against, of course I have deficiencies. Of course I want to stop interrupting people someday. It hasn't happened yet, but I hope it does. But it says, no, let's talk about what the gift, and the gift is the most confronting question of all. As soon as I tell you that my gift is I have a gift of translating things from different parts into accessible ideas I can act on. As soon as I say that, I'm in trouble because now I have to live into it. I have to take it seriously. And I don't know what my gifts are. That's what I need you for. I don't know what I've done in this, or our conversation. I could ask you, what gift have you received in this conversation?
I'd love to answer that. I said I'd love to answer that.
Answer. When we're done.
I think I've become very committed to making connection easy. And I still am very committed to that for nuanced reasons, not just because I think people have a short attention span and we need to boil it down. I think that making that entry point. But I think the gift that you gave me in this conversation, you bridged some of the easy, like the voicemail, right? You bridged the voicemail with a totally different culture of a baseball team. And those two, I think, are actually closely intertwined. And for me, you broaden my perspective of what is possible with connection before content. I think because of my focus on easiness, I've actually made it too small. And that's a gift. So thank you.
You're welcome. I like hearing that. And the gift you are is the depth of your curiosity. And you take the small things seriously. And what an artist does is they see the nuance, the subtlety of experience. And to me, every moment is a mixture of method, voicemail, small group, and metaphor. Here's the larger meaning of this moment. And we just said about bringing these together and seeing them as one and the same, just different dimensions. It's beautiful. And you're an affirmation to me that the foolishness that I'm engaged in might have meaning. The doubts never go away. I don't care. I don't care how many Nobel Prizes you've won. As soon as you step down from the podium, go back to your office, you say, what the hell am I doing here? And so you're extremely affirming and very generous. And what you're doing is much more powerful than any protest on any street. And that's what I have to keep having faith in, getting people connected and holding them, being accountable, creating our world. Sometimes it seems pathetically minuscule. But maybe that's the point.